Hi, everyone. I don't know if you've heard, but there has been a shooting at the University of Virginia, my alma mater. And I was just there actually a couple of weeks ago. I'm talking about the UVA shooting and kind of giving you guys some information from the ground. Let me just see. I'm going to be talking to Surovell. She's the editor of the Cavalier Daily, which was the student newspaper I actually wrote for as well when I was a student there. And there you are, Eva. I can't believe this worked so well. Thank you for talking with us. You're in your room on the lawn at the University of Virginia. I also lived on the lawn, so I know exactly sort of what the layout is in your room. Tell me basically, Eva, what happened, when you got the news, and what life has been like at UVA since, I guess, 10:30 last night is when it happened.
Yeah, I think it was 10:32 when we all got the first email.
Can you just raise your volume just a teeny bit, Eva?
Yes, does that work?
Yeah, I think maybe you're covering your mic on the bottom of the phone a little bit, if you can.
Okay.
Yeah, I know you've never done this before, but thank you so much for hopping on.
Yeah, thank you for having me. So we got an email at about 10:30 last night that there had been shots fired. Be confirmed that there was an active shooter on the scene. And so everyone was advised to shelter in place. I have friends in libraries. I have friends underneath the Aquatic and Fitness Center. All of the Lonnies are home. A lot of people have gone about more than 12 hours now without food. And so everyone's really just staying in place, checking in on each other. Yeah.
And what do you know about the shooting? I know that details are emerging. The shooter himself, that name has been released, this ex-football player named Christopher Darnell Jones. I think he was on, at least from what I'm hearing, he was on the UVA football team in 2018. Tell us what else you know about anything about him and anything about the victims. Obviously, the names haven't been released. Yeah, sorry, that was my fault with the volume, everybody. My volume was down. Eva's volume's fine. But what have you learned about that, Eva?
Yeah, so the Daily Progress and the Richmond Times-Dispatch appear to have confirmed two of the victims' names, actually. So Lavelle Davis Jr. And Deshaun Perry, who I believe were both juniors. And I know the university is holding a press conference at 11. I'm hoping we get some more details then and are able to learn more. In terms of the suspect, I know that he was last seen wearing, I think, a burgundy jacket, and they believe that he has a car, I think a black SUV. But we know that he is armed and dangerous, and students are advised to run, hide, and fight is the message we've been receiving.
But this whole university continues to be in lockdown, and so people have been told they can't leave their rooms. Also, all classes obviously have been canceled. And tell me a little bit more about where it took place. You were saying in the Culbreth garage. So if anyone is familiar with the University of Virginia, by the way, right now I'm having a conversation with Eva Surovell. Eva is the editor of the Cavalier Daily. Are you the editor-in-chief, Eva?
Yeah, I am.
And anyway, Eva and I ironically met just a couple of weeks ago when I was at the university for the weekend and for an event. So if you're just joining us, Eva and I are talking about, she is in Charlottesville, Virginia. She is inside her lawn room at the University of Virginia, where a lockdown is happening right now, or has been for the last, what did you say, how many hours?
Oh my gosh. I mean, well, we're nearing 12 right now.
About the last 12 hours, where students are being told to shelter in place, if you will, after a shooting took place. And it was near Culbreth Theater or the parking lot. situate everyone for
Yeah.
us, everything for us, Eva, even people who may not be familiar with the grounds at UVA.
Yeah, I mean, Culbreth is pretty central. I would say it's probably a 5-minute walk from the lawn. That's where I park my car. It's where plenty of my friends park their cars. It's very close to sort of arts grounds, the architecture school, and kind of like Madison Bowl. So if you're, that's where a lot of students live off grounds. So it's certainly a hub of student activity. I know plenty of students who were studying in the area when all of this went down.
And do we know anything about motive? Was this individual, he was a former football player. Do we know if he got removed from the team? Is there information we have about him at all, or any of the other papers are reporting?
I mean, there's certainly like a lot of rumors swirling. I have not seen anything reported, and the university has not released any information. I'm anticipating that hopefully we learn a bit more at 11 when the university hosts its press conference.
When Jim Ryan, the University of Virginia president. So right now, how many people have died and how many people are injured?
So 5 people are confirmed to have been shot. 3 are dead, and 2 are sustained injuries and were receiving medical care at the time that Jim Ryan sent out his email last night, which I think was around 4 or 5 in the morning, I believe.
So terrifying. I know you've been probably communicating with a lot of your friends and fellow students. How are they doing?
I think everyone is understandably shaken up. I think this generation has unfortunately witnessed a lot of gun violence throughout our lifetimes, but I don't really think that prepares anyone to experience it themselves. Personally, I'm mostly focused on the paper, supporting our staffers and making sure this information is getting out there. But I'm also trying to support my friends and, of course, call my parents. If they're
have you talked to your parents? I'm sure a lot of UVA parents are worried sick about their kids. You've been in touch with your mom and dad?
Yeah, I called my mom immediately when everything went down last night. I was in touch with my dad really early this morning, around 5 a.m. And my mom has asked me to call her like pretty frequently. So I'm trying to keep them as updated as I can.
I think your mom may be actually watching this. I was since your mom may be on this Instagram live, and I'm sure she's very proud of you for being able to keep it together and even have a conversation with us about this. You know, I think back on when I covered, Eva, the Virginia Tech shooting in 2007, which was absolutely horrific. And, 32 people died and more than a dozen were wounded in that shooting. And it was terrifying. You know, we do know that police teams are on the ground, and I guess there's a helicopter. Have you been hearing many helicopters, Eva, outside?
Yeah, I can hear the helicopter circling above right now. And throughout the night, we could hear like police sirens as we were trying to sleep. So we turned on like some rain noise so we could get a few hours of sleep at least.
Yeah. And so you can't even actually leave your lawn room. You just have to stay inside your lawn room, right?
Yeah, I have no food in here. We sprinted to the bathrooms together once. I'm here with 2 of my friends who were actually in the architecture school when this happened, which is probably 100 feet away, but inside. So they came to my room to have somewhere to sleep. But we've been here for 12 hours.
Well, I'm so sorry this is going on. And unfortunately, this is happening with increasing frequency at schools and colleges all across the country. And stay safe. I hope this person is apprehended quickly by the police. It's a very scary situation. Have you heard any information about the kind of weapon he was using by any chance?
We don't know we know it was a gun. We don't know if it was an AR-15 or something smaller. But we know that gunshot injuries were sustained, definitely.
Well, I really appreciate your time. And as you mentioned, there is going to be press conference that President Jim Ryan is going to be holding. And also Chief Longo is someone else I know from UVA when he was the head of the Charlottesville police. He's now head of the UVA police department, right?
Yes, yes. Mr. Longo is the vice president for security and safety. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm sure your reporters are working hard to try to gather this information. And it's really, I guess the two victims, I'm trying to find, can you repeat the names? Because obviously the next of kin has been notified with the names of the people, the two people whose names were released. Can you just tell us again the names of those two individuals?
Yeah, so they were both football players. So Lavelle Davis Jr. and Deshaun Perry.
And Deshaun Perry was a linebacker and defensive end. And for the University of Virginia football team, and his father, Sean Perry, I guess, confirmed this on Monday morning. He was 6'3". He weighed 230 pounds. He made 2 tackles in Saturday's game against Pittsburgh, and his parents are now flying in from his hometown of Miami, Florida. Yeah. Which is, I'm sure, so heartbreaking for them. Anyway, it's so tragic, and you can only imagine what the parents of these 3 victims are going through right now. What about the number of injured again before we go? Do you know how many people were injured, and if they were students, or what can you tell us about that?
We know that 2 individuals sustained injuries and were receiving medical care. We're not sure whether they were students.
All right. Well, Eva, again, I'll be watching the press conference at 11, and I know a lot of other people will as well. I'm sure there are a lot of frantic parents trying to reach their kids. I hope everybody has connected. Oh, yeah, that's a good question. One of my followers actually just asked, are there people needing psychological interventions? And I think in the UVA press release that Jim Ryan put out, he said there would be, did he say there would be services, obviously, for any of the kids who have been traumatized?
I know that there are mental health resources for students on ground. So we have counseling and psychological services. And we also have timely care, which the university has been communicating to students to use as necessary.
Yeah, I think, Jim Ryan did a very moving press release that I posted on my Instagram grid if anyone wants to read it, saying this, it's just heartbreaking. Anyway, Eva, thanks again for talking to us about this, and for everyone who joined about the shooting at the University of Virginia that took place around 10 o'clock last night. 3 people have been killed, 2 have been identified. I'm not sure if the third is also a football player. The suspect is a former football player, is my understanding. He's still at large, and police teams and helicopters are in the area trying to apprehend them. The university is in a lockdown situation right now. All the students are being told to shelter in place, I'm assuming, as well as professors and other people within the administration. And tell me again what the suspect is wearing. A burgundy coat, I think I saw red shoes.
A burgundy jacket, I believe jeans, and red shoes is the latest, I think I heard.
Okay. Well, again, Eva, please stay safe. Thank you for your time. If anything develops, text me, and I can let people know what's going on. I really, really appreciate it.
Yes. Thanks so much for having me, Katie.
Okay. Talk to you soon, Eva.
Bye.
Bye.